What's going on, everybody? CaptainRoBear and crew here for the Better Late Than Never Stormforge episode 26.
Yeah. Oh boy, we just kept you waiting, you know.
You have incredible patience.
A wizard is never late, nor are they early.
But I literally quote tweeted a going live tweet with that.
Oh. I have not been on Twitter for a second.
No, it's perfect. We're on the exact same wavelength. I love it.
Exactly. Look, great nerd brains think alike. It's great. Don't question it.
They just said great gnome brains.
I mean, maybe
Gnome brain.
It's slang for UK over here.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice that.
It's true. You're right.
Who has lovely announcements they would like to let the community know about before we squeeze in as much as we can into this bite-sized small session?
I have none.
Super quickly, next week is going to be the start of the new Destiny season. Come along if you want to learn all the things about Dargans. We're doing all Dargan things, and we're finishing up the massive series about everything to do with Dargans that we've learned thus far in Destiny, and it's nearly 3 hours worth of content that I've made in the last week and a half or so. Martin has been an editing champ. We've done a lot. There's so much to catch up on. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. It's gonna be great fun. That's it. That's all.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Anyone else with big announcements?
Drak and I are going to be at Dragon Meet on the 2nd of December. You should absolutely come along and watch our respective panels and just come and say hi. It would be lovely. Also, at more Drak and me news, we recorded the first episode of Beyond the Brook. It was proper lightning in a bottle stuff. It is an incredible cast. December the
Incredible
8th.
Oh my god.
No. Shush. Yeah, we're going to be premiering that on December the 8th. So you should definitely come along and check it. If the first episode is any indication, it is going to be a wild 10 weeks.
I love it.
I had your tongue there for a sec.
Did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out, but we got the important bits.
We got everything.
We got the
got
important
everything,
stuff.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You
Did I
look like a cliffhanger.
stutter? Okay.
Sam, do you want to do the thing?
Windward
What?
project? Anything cool?
What we're up to
We have nothing going on.
next Tuesday and Wednesday.
With GCN?
I can't think right now. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Don't worry,
My
I'll
brain
take
is
over for you.
Not been on. Thanks. Oh, just kidding. I do know what's happening next Tuesday and Wednesday. Psych JK. It's the thing that I love to do best. I love to roll dice for charity. And once again, doing it for GCX with RoBear at the helm. And then we've also got Batty and DJ Knight and Prella Stella as my fellow castmates for this. And it's a 2-night one-shot event. Where is it streamed? That part I don't think I know.
It'll be on GCX event, and it is available for everyone's independent channels as well.
Woo!
So bam, you get to see this creepy graphic. Let's go!
It's so
That is the
good.
most accurate
It's my
depiction
favorite.
of RoBear I've ever seen.
It really is, you know?
He's like,
Funny
it should
enough-
be candy canes. I was like, no, it's right. It's right.
I got a good
He's-
chuckle.
he's channeling his inner villain, sitting there being like, I have 9th level spell slots. I might as well upcast Chain Lightning, you know, really scare him.
There were ones where I was smiling. I gave them 6 different takes. They just happened to take this one instead. So, you know,
That's why
in
you
all
just give him
fairness,
one.
they understood the assignment. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
there's really no getting around the fact that they want you to be like this.
We're all just so happy, and above us is the devil.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. We're titling this series "Merry Questmas: Folly at the Frostfall." So,
I love it.
enjoy this little jaunt that I'm absolutely going to put in Faltura. So I sat down and thought about it and was like, what do I want to call my winter festivals in my world? So this is going to be the first venture into Frostfall. I'm so excited.
Yay.
More announcements on all the lovely different ways you can donate, and the value and the quirks and the incentives will all be up there. And we expect to see you along. You get double days of D&D on Wednesday because we'll run it and Stormforge on the same day. So you guys get to double up. Even though we don't have Marrowstrand, we'll have this on Tuesday. So and Galadleron will be on Sunday still. So you have D&D to look forward to, y'all. But we finally need to pick up at the most important moment, maybe even in Stormforge history.
I don't like that.
With our party still adventuring towards the crash site in the Forgotten Lands, having passed through frost wyverns, now yetis to get here, almost losing Myshkin to a long crevasse. You guys have been able to find and scout the perfect cavern. Only a few miles away from the crash site now. Being able to tuck in and get a well-deserved rest. Full bellies. However, on Myshkin's watch, he has noticed a strange owl-like humanoid land in the distance of the valley and turn its head towards the cave. Now, we had a roll earlier from Kaivar that was a joke, but we're honoring this 20 because I had a wisdom saving throw planned for Kaivar. We are going to honor this 20.
Yay.
Cutting from the scene of that Alkin staring back towards the cavern. Kaivar. After getting in touch once already with the disturbances of trauma and magic, almost taking your own life trying to locate how the recycling center got from Stormforge to here, seeing those mages perish, expending all of their magic and life force just to move this object. It has left a heavy imprint on you. Being one to soak up history and scenes and bits and parts, whether they are on this timeline or not, your dreams become instantly unsettling. As it's like seeing an eagle's view as you fly through these valleys in the mountain range of the Forgotten Lands. It is a cold, brisk day. It's heavy snow, but not at a pace. It's those slow, large flakes, the ones that deaden the sound. As you go cruising through, you begin to see familiar parts where you landed to get here. The ravine down towards the valley. And your eyes settle on one large stone sarcophagus. As you get closer and closer, you begin to see it crack and crumble. slowly talons peering out as it begins to break. You see black ichor beginning to pour out from this structure. And not just a little bit. It begins with like a 20-foot pool before the stone structure completely begins to crack on its side.
Welcome to our new home. Feast your eyes on the light that we will extinguish next.
As this reverberates through your head, Bife, the antithesis, your doppelganger, the form that was created by the deck of many things at the end of Meteorian Core. As you break out of your tomb, there's a flash of that snow-blind light. As you utter the first words that you did at the end of Meteorian Core, casting away your name, there is no more than brief moments as you stare out into this cold valley, the snow blind hitting your eyes as your pupils adjust. I want you to roll a perception check with a D20 plus 20. As you briefly stare out into this world, there's a warmth that wraps over your body, as if nothing from the elements in this world will faze you. The feeling of literal demigod status washes over you. In your head, literally are spiraling the different galaxies and planets that all have been consumed to create this one planet inside of Faltura. It is as if you own and understand all of the timelines that it took to get here, beyond expendable Bardic lore. You literally have the wealth of knowledge of everything that it's taken to get to this point. Not only that, you share the symbiosis in your brain of what's transpired to get here. Fueled by an unknown antithesis. Never knowing your other side. The only thing ringing out inside your brain is the voice and friend that you know.
This is our new opportunity to start fresh. To not make the mistakes that we made before. This is the culmination of everything. My friend, it is time you took your rightful place and placed your name.
As you pause for a second to contemplate this, your pupils adjusting to the distance, there is a wave of flame that wraps across you, literally knocking you back into your own tomb.
No! No!
As it seals, you put both of your hands up front up against it. You can feel absolute molten heat as it turns from black to orange, pinning you against. Somehow you're not consumed in this all-encompassing flame.
It can't separate me. No.
I need you to make a will save with a flat D20. You feel yourself losing everything. The memories, the knowledge of the galaxies, where you're at, who this voice is inside your head. As that black ichor explodes, and from the view of Kaivar, you see nothing but this entire mountainside coated as this symbios is pinned down within flames, boiling to the point where you see only one singular head rise up from it with its white eyes and its toothy maw. As this large phoenix comes across and consumes and snaps off its head. And that ichor drops, plastering across the mountainside. Uncontrolled. And as you watch, it's days, weeks, maybe months. But your tomb slowly cools and begins to crack. As you open it back up, you look around to nothing but scorched earth, frozen in place. You have no recollection of what this was. You only remember the flames. Nothing from your previous creation exists. You have no psychic ability, nor do you have the knowledge that you had psychic ability. as your eyes adjust to the cold. Oh, it's death rattling. You know it's so cold that if you take too many steps out, you might actually freeze in place, your breath instantly turning into crystals. And as you wipe away from your eyes, breaking the icicles that are forming there, you see the form of one dragonborn with metallic orange scales. Rather old in stature, but with massive fiery wings tucked back behind them.
I should probably introduce myself. My name is Drak. I have a thing for second chances. Whenever this tomb was cast here, it made me aware of your position. I have but one question for you. Are you willing to take that second chance?
Yes. I believe I am ready.
Then shelter. Under my wing, Arvad. For you will be known as the Ember Wing.
Stepping away, what feels like moments from being frozen in place. You feel that warmth roll over your body once again. No longer feeling the death rattle of cold. Internally, you feel your strength come back to you.
Arvad, you have much to learn, my friend. Much to learn. Let me show you what second chances is all about.
As you assume the form of a demigod under the Phoenix, you were the equivalent of a level 25 wildfire druid. As you look back at this mountainside sundered, the first bit of knowledge that gets relayed back to you is of that creation.
Do not worry, Arvad. The symbiote is done. Never to rise again. For it does not deserve a second chance in this world. But you You never had a choice. This is your time to make those.
Kaivar, your vision fades. Back into another dream. Emberwing. You stare back out towards this cavern where you see the dim bits of light. It's been quite some time that you've spent inside the Forgotten Lands. Sticking to that decree and learning as much underneath Drak as possible. Teaching you the ways of the Phoenix. Trying to help out lost travelers and adventurers. Restoring fires to those whose either they were extinguished or never had some. Breathing life into the lost. Using your cauterizing flames to heal the wounded and the trapped. It's another night staring out with your cinder soul eyes back into the darkness. Seeing a small flame flickering, it has gathered your attention. Your feathers now emit a small halo of orange energy and light that bathes you and protects you and gives you the immunity to cold that you have. You make eye contact with a very interesting looking catfolk. The scene is yours, Emberwing.
The moment that it's clear both parties have noticed each other, the stare is completely unbroken, and the expression is too. At first it might be a little tricky to read. Unblinking and unfazed. Slowly, you will see this being rise to its feet and walk in your direction, seemingly undeterred by the wind, by the snow, seemingly walking to the point where it rises above it. And as it approaches the cave entrance, it will wait for what you do.
As this figure walks towards Myshkin, it would notice that in the wind and the snow, as burlap blows all around this skinny cat-like individual, two small motes of green light would begin to glow around his neck as you see two scaled hands just appear at the end of his wrists. And he too stands there, staring, his eyes as green and as bright.
Far be it from me to make an introduction less than pleasant. Armed as usual, I take a pair of blades that I have on me and grab them by the bladed end and hand them towards this figure, hilt first. So that you know that my intentions are not grim. I saw the fire. Awfully cold night.
You look for warmth.
not so much looking as drawn to it. And after all, this place is remarkably special. It has a history of fire. Paradoxical as that might seem, standing in the surroundings we are. But you have kindled it for a new chapter. And so you bring me here too.
Myshkin nods towards the ground beneath the blades. Drop them. It is warmer by the cavern's edge.
Drops the blades. Walks in that direction.
Myshkin sits on one of the nearby rocks. The one nearest his companions sat inside the cavern, and just gestures to a nearby outcropping of stone.
On the way to that outcropping, passing by the fire, reaching a hand over the flame, it roars in anticipation, reaching up to reach the digits of this owl folk, and kindles itself into that owl folk's hand, leaving a small residual flame behind. Whilst the campfire itself is now significantly stronger, the owl folk himself is walking with that flame in hand, clearly illuminating himself. It's not a weapon. It is a source of light, a source of warmth, probably a source of comfort.
I would ask that you keep your distance from my friends, for now.
Oh, I'm rather adept at doing all sorts of things, and keeping distance, it's not too tricky. Flaps his wings out, rustling feathers and getting himself comfortable.
Then I
Of
hope
course.
you will take no offense with me staying exactly where I am.
Oh, I understand. Especially considering that the stereotype between the two of our kinds is not exactly one of pleasantries. But I sense that there is a thing of fire about the both of us. And so perhaps that allows us to make an introduction on somewhat even ground. Do you have a name, sir, that I might know you by?
My name is Illiran. What is yours?
Bowing. But there are many names.
I was about to say, otherwise your parents clearly had incredible foresight.
Ah. Difficult to remember everything from that far back. But let us not dwell on the past. Might I ask what brings you to this strange and remote part of the country? It has been many moons since I saw anything other than the local wildlife roaming here.
You know how it is. One gets word of black stone surrounding the mountains and help it attract tourists.
Black stone. Is that what it's called now?
You know it by another name? You of many names?
I know what it used to be, I think. More importantly, I know that what it is now is less temperamental than it used to be. The important thing is this. You have eyes and you are wary enough. If it is a danger to you, you shall see it in time.
You speak in riddles, I fear. What brings you to the mountain?
It is simply where I roam. Consider it a part and piece of my own heritage. It might sound odd, but I was born and died here. So sometimes I feel an urge, a pull, and it brings me back. And so as I learn more and as I go forth, every once in a while I circle back to my old haunt. And so I find myself here. But, of course, it's never simply that simple. Being brought back to a place you've seen before is only noteworthy if the place had something noteworthy happening. And the history that you have wandered into, the history that you will now make with your own footsteps, it is vast. I do wonder whether your chapter will be more exciting.
And what was the chapter that you wrote in this place?
It starts with a question. What is your name? Originally, there were 2 answers to that question. From what I can recall, I scratched the first answer out. I can show you where, if you so desire. The remains are shattered, but as best I know, they haven't moved.
This place, is it far?
RoBear is what remains of the sarcophagus far.
The stone is gone and crumbled. However, they have seen the frozen obsidian in the site.
You see it lying before you, all around. Come. Can you brace the cold with me for but a moment? If not, I have the means of keeping us both well protected.
Myshkin looks over his shoulders at his sleeping companions. You wish to draw me away from my group?
Only if you should desire this knowledge. And, for what it's worth, where I douse the flames of nature, I will keep them safe as I can. It is not my intention to divide and conquer. Besides, you should know well an owl is not a pack hunter.
I know they can be dangerous. They wish. You will not begrudge me if I find a replacement.
Very well.
Myshkin steps inside the cabin, the howls of the wind momentarily ceasing against his body as he steps over to you, Kallisto, and just nudges you ever so slightly.
Listo wakes up pretty much immediately. I think especially when sleeping out in the field, they are a light sleeper. Light enough. So they wake up. I'm taking watch next.
We have company. And a possible answer to the rock that we have found beneath this.
Chris will sit up and look in the direction that Myshkin is gesturing to and see this owl folk.
His name
Who
is
are they?
Emberwin. That I do
And
not.
what do they want?
To share, apparently. How far is the range on that rifle of yours?
I can shoot maybe 120 without much issue. Further than that, might be a problem.
If you lose me in the snow, come after me. I might need you.
Myshkin, are you waking me up to tell me that you're leaving with a stranger in the middle of a frozen desert?
The snow is my home. And we both know that you're more effective at... If you feel it would be best to wake the others, I wouldn't disagree. We all need rest.
I think it's best you don't go anywhere until we've had our rest. And our friend Emberwind over there, and he's going to sit up and raise his voice so that Emberwind can hear, stays far from us as we rest.
Roll a perception check, Kallisto.
I'm rolling 1 too to see if I hear that.
That's true. You are right next to me. Yeah.
Oh no!
He's yelling in my dreams.
Oh,
31.
the first thing that you notice, Kallisto, is it is just as comfortable inside this cavern as the Ember Forge. The overall ambient temperature has raised significantly, and it's become quite cozy. But when you stare out towards Emberwing, there's a feeling that you get that isn't like anything that you've felt in quite a while. It's a sense. It's a tingle. It's not a monster, but it's not a man. It is a presence that is both comforting and very, very foreign.
Okay. Kallisto will stand up and look towards Emberwing. And speaking to Myshkin, just say, what you're going to do is rest, and I'll continue watch. If our friend over there wants to show you anything, they can show us the thing after we've rested.
Very well. If you would like to explain the situation, our new friend over there. Good luck.
Yes. Kallisto is going to walk over to Emberwing, but not all the way. I think they're going to sit on the ground exactly equidistant between the group behind them and Emberwing. And will have a pistol in one hand and their rifle kind of leaning on their rifle in the other, watching Emberwing. And they don't say anything, they just watch.
You know, if it might make it any better, I could warm this cave up a little bit more. Or I could just let you shoot me and we could be done with this. You wouldn't be the first that's tried.
So what are you doing here?
Oh, does it ever need to be a function or a purpose? Does it ever need to be an objective? I
Yes.
understand that most do not always wander in the cold, but when you have so much history here, sometimes you can't help.
Okay. And what is your history, and why does it involve taking one of ours to a secluded area in a frozen desert?
Oh, hardly secluded. It's right out there in front of the cave.
And you can't just tell us what it is?
I find visual demonstration is far more enthralling, especially when there's history involved to it. But I understand. Not everybody is interested. And I can see from your demeanor that you're a driven man. I may not have come here for a specific knowing purpose, but you most certainly did. Regardless, I am not here to pry. I saw a fire, and I was already drawn to this place. Tell me, what is your name?
You can just call me Warden.
Warden. Not so much a name as a title, but it will do. Truth be told, then, we both have titles exchanged. So, I shall extend one further. Emberwing is a title too. You may call me Arvad.
I'll stick with Emberwing.
That's perfectly acceptable.
You don't seem troubled by the snow or the cold.
Correct.
So you're not here for warmth. You're here for history, which I'm sure you can recall quite literally anywhere in these snowfields. So why in this cavern specifically?
I may be incapable now of feeling the cold in quite the same way as you do, but why does one light a fire in the first place if not to feel its warmth? To put it rather simply, I saw flames, and I thought someone required warmth. I understand your caution, particularly when a stranger walks upon a camp in the dead of night, but let it be known that my intentions here are nothing malicious.
Well, let it be known that even if they were, you could still say that.
Warden, would it be so hard to believe that alongside being drawn here with all of my history and all of the strange things that have happened in this place, it is simply in my nature to want to keep people warm? You see, Emberwing holds out his hand, and the flame grows, not in size, but in intensity. You can feel what was initially that sort of rugged heat becomes much more focused on the side of your body that is facing the fire. It's not oppressive, but it is more wholly encompassing. And from around that fire, small motes of sparks start to dance.
What the fuck just happened?
The 1-400, baby.
Double 20.
This
I'm screenshotting that roll.
God.
That's fucking ridiculous.
we're 3 weeks
Way
in
to
a
tee me
row.
up for that.
The minute you demonstrate your godliness, Farouk opens his eyes as he sees this flame and feels this warmth that he's only ever felt at the top of Stormforge. I can't believe my eyes. As he gathers himself, and begins to walk over towards the campfire. By Osiris, we have been blessed today. In the depths of cold and frigid winter, to be visited by such grace. Disciple of the Phoenix, what may I call you?
Well, for starters, nothing as opulent and over the top as Disciple of the Phoenix. But if a name is what you want, Avad. Come, sit.
As he
If you will allow. And he's gonna gesture openly towards Kallisto.
As he
It's very
bows,
clear from his body language that this is not something which he's doing as a kind of divide and conquer move. He is very much openly seeking permission in this moment.
Kallisto is just watching Farouk. And I honestly think he becomes even colder after hearing how Farouk references Emberwing, as the very clear connection to some kind of deity or religion is made through that title. Kallisto watches Farouk and says, "Do you know who this is? Are they a friend of yours?"
one of the best of friends I've never met. Emberwing. I will take much honor in your visit this evening. I must ask first, have we all perished?
Far from it. Even without my presence here, you were all in a certain degree of safety.
That is good.
Be that nothing to do with the will of gods or anything that fancies itself as such. You found shelter and made a fire. That's all you needed to do. I appreciate any reverence, but it doesn't always need to be the intervention of gods.
Most are not visited by the god of second chances without something
Far, far more nefarious. I'm glad this visit could be in kind. I'll be honest, this is as far away from the source that I've ever been. Your visit here comforts me and gives me hope to light fires in the coldest and darkest of places.
It is within such cold darkness that light is needed. Fire was meant to bring warmth, after all. And it
Indeed.
wouldn't be much of a second chance if you couldn't turn darkness to a little bit of light.
Indeed. Thank you for the
Besides-
blessings of our campsite. It will not go unnoticed. Without gratitude, sympathy.
For now, let's simply say it's not so much something to go unnoticed as something undisturbed. You will be safe here tonight, that much I can say. But you've also come a long way. I can tell that much simply from the demeanor of everybody here. On edge, some of you beaten, some of you broken, and some of your strange bedfellows curled up far too close to the fires inside.
You hear
In
a
particular-
snore from Lolly.
Sort of looks past, and is in particular is going to be looking at Kelthud. I imagine there's some kind of like fun sleep quirk where he's doing the thing where his head bobs forward, except it's bobbing forward towards like a small lit flame inside, and it's just, it would be rather concerning were it not for the fact that it's Kelthud and he's probably fine.
May I ask, Imberwing? We seek a site on this mountainside.
Yes?
If you have seen it, is there anything that you could divine us? We seek to find any information we can. We have been following it. There has been much malevolence within inside its walls. It was brought here by arcane means. It did not crash here on its own.
Shall I roll a perception check to see if I actually saw it flying in?
Let's roll a D100.
Oh.
With
Any
you
special-
having overwatch of the particular mountainside. It's large, but this would be a sizable disturbance. Let's place 1 through 70. You have seen the crash site and were present. $56.
Well, I was wondering about that. It is certainly far from the least wretched thing, and also far from the most that has crashed into this place. But, yes, I have seen your quarry. I do hope you didn't bring it here to my mountainside, though. Though I imagine by the nature of your group that you are more exploring than trying to recover it. You are not the ones that brought it here, no?
No.
I suspected as
Several
much.
mages extinguished their life to bring something so large here. Is there any remains?
You know that there are no humanoid remains.
If your intention is to recover the dead, they are not here. But I cannot speak for the strange mechanisms within the beast's belly. Perhaps you might find something. I can help you all look if you would so delight.
I think we can handle it, thank you.
Farouk looks back over at you, Kallisto, as if somebody spit on the floor in the Ember Forge in front of your parents.
I believe we should not turn down the offers of the Phoenix if so gifted.
Well, if we can't turn it down, that sounds less like an offer and more like a demand, Farouk.
Kallisto, do not mistake my kindness for weakness. This means far more to me than it does you. And that's okay. I'm not trying to convince you of anything anymore. Some things aren't meant for everyone. While I do not question the way of the gun and your gifts as a gunslinger, all I ask is that you respect me for the path I walk into the sun. We can agree to disagree, but I will not let you disrespect what I am.
Bringing a stranger to all of us here, maybe not you, but all of us, does affect us. So everyone should get a say on whether or not this happens, Farouk.
It is
Outside
not
of this mission, you're
stranger.
more than welcome to be with them, Ember. You can be with the Ember Wing. But right now, we're a group.
You don't know everything!
And neither do you, Farouk. So don't leverage that against me. I'm asking for the permission for everyone to decide whether or not this stranger follows us. Because they're not following just you, Farouk. They're following us.
I said we could agree to disagree.
I'm not asking you to have faith in the divine. I've seen that. I'm asking you to trust me as I have trusted you. I'm tired of walking this one-way street.
I welcomed you into my home. In what world is that not trust, Faroük?
I too welcome you into my home. And they were two different experiences.
Everybody, wake up. I'm going to yell to wake everyone up.
I have to roll out of this one because it wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one.
Very deep sleeper.
It's pretty heated. You could.
Am I awake? Not really, but like she hears you.
21's enough.
She's stirring and flops her arm over, thinking you're there, and that it's not you yelling across the cave. Because with the echoing, it probably sounds like everybody's much closer than they are anyway. And then feeling the coldness as her arm lands not on the heat of her husband. She would immediately wake up and sit up and look over. And what's going on? Before standing up and brushing herself off, slowly making her way over, not to show any alertness.
Myshkin's hands are up and ready, just in case.
What have I missed? She says as she's now coming closer and closing in that distance between her and Kallisto. And
Apparently
who's
a lot.
This? Hi.
Apparently Faroük has a better idea than I do.
She looks to Faroük.
We have been visited by a divine entity, a disciple of the Phoenix, a being known as Orvad the Emberwing, a demigod that has only come here to check on the warmth of our fire. Someone who has more pressing deeds than us by far. A god of second chances and gifts. Only here in our presence to check to make sure that we're warm enough through the night. They've come bringing only tidings. Yet my knowledge is still questioned. I'm presumed ignorant on sight. I only ask you to understand my life and my own expertise. Questions are fine. But your tone and a lack of respect for what I am and what I do, I will not tolerate anymore.
Faroük, hold on for a moment. I've just woken up. What the hell's is going on here? Why is everybody so heated, especially about an Outkin who doesn't look to be a threat at all?
This
Before we all
Outkin,
start walking away and throwing tantrums. And she looks up at Kallisto as well, and she's like, what did you do?
I declined an offer to help.
this Outkin knows something of the Blackstone on this mountain.
Then should we not hear him out? Isn't that important? We're here to investigate a crash.
Yes, and we know where it is and how to get there.
I'm not seeing an issue here.
Emberwing,
Yes.
you said you were born on this mountainside. Is that correct?
Born and died,
Yes,
if that makes sense.
That second part is what I had more interest in. Are you living?
I am indeed.
And are you dead?
The person who I was is what is dead. For but the briefest of moments, there was another. His name was Thoth.
What was it?
Thoth was a being of order, but also a being of spite. Freedom and whimsy and the ability to determine one's destiny, those were the things that Thoth hated. This is where he died. And you see Arvad get to his feet and walk out onto the ice about 10 feet. And you can see one of his claws, glowing red hot, scratches away the ice and reveals some of the stone beneath. This is the only remnant that remains, some of which I'm sure you have taken for yourselves. It is powerful. It holds strong memory. The remnants of a beast beyond any of us. Something terrible from a bygone age. It would have fed and consumed us all, but this world was given another chance. And so was I.
This Thoth. Does his soul exist within you still?
No. It died with my hatred. It died with my spite. Arvad is as much a name I chose as a destiny that I get to walk. Second chances, after all. You have to take them. You have to choose. And choosing in such a manner is not always easy. If it is preferable, I shall leave. But my intentions here are simple. I saw your flames, and I came to nurture their warmth. When your friend here mentioned that you were hunting a target, that great monstrosity that fell beyond the ridges, I thought that I could leverage my knowledge of this place. It's been some time since I've been here last, but I am always called back. And this new eyesore, well, much as it is new, it is not something that I delight in the presence of. If you would follow onward, find what you need of it, I would happily see it returned to the earth. And I would happily guide you and keep you safe. In this sense, our purposes align. But I also understand that a stranger turning up in the middle of the night with nothing but good intentions is hardly something to trust immediately.
Seeing as you understand our trepidation so deep, would you permit yourself to surrender yourself to my magic? Very briefly. I wish to try something.
I see no harm in that.
And if you would hold out your hands for me, please.
Returning to the cave, Arvad will do so.
Myshkin reaches out both his ghostly, and seeing Farouk and Kallisto, especially at loggerheads, is just going to whisper to either Loluphia or Kallisto, whoever can hear. If this becomes too much, please pull me.
Listen,
What? I got
Alright.
married.
For context, I think Kaivar would also have come along at this point. Sadly, I don't know if he hears you.
Sorry, our ears are clogged with icicles.
Mishkat? No.
Mitch cat.
This one hears you. And taking Emberwing's hands in his, Myshkin is going to try and pierce whatever this creature once was, fully expecting that this will not work. Seeing as this being once had a soul that died, he's going to try and cast Talking Corpse.
Ooh.
Your intention of casting Talking Corpse is to try to reach out to his former being.
To reach out to Thoth.
Go ahead and roll that will save with advantage.
Okay.
Arvad.
Oh, Arvad.
Yeah, it's that's
What did you
just
do to this
that is
owl?
just stupid. Oh my god.
Okay.
Myshkin, you reach out not only to something that isn't dead, it doesn't exist anymore. The name is long gone from whatever timeline it existed. You can feel that it has been long removed from the material plane and vanished from the ether of Faltura.
Myshkin lets go. Whatever this creature once was, it is long gone.
I would like
Emberwing
to
is
try to use my biographical eye. Just to get more potential background. And I would like to roll this at advantage. If I can find my cards. I will find those in a minute. Oh,
Ooh.
It's a secret that even
Secrets.
I can't see.
You can't see it and only send it to me?
I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, it's highlighted pink. I've never seen that one though. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, just on the dot. Look at that.
Yes. So, as the chatter's been going on since Lolly went silent, she's just been watching the body language and reading as deeply into Arvad as she could. It's up to you, really, RoBear, I think.
With this biographical eye, that innate magic that you have inside of you, that little bit of difference maker, you understand that you are sharing this cave with an entity of divination. It is as clear as the sun rises and sets that you are in the presence of a demigod. Being told that they are a disciple of the Phoenix, everything seems to check out. But even more so as your eye pierces, as you look towards Arvad, you can see the Emberwing's true form. Bathed in flames. A large mark of a fiery owl above his forehead, chasing upward and towards the sun. This entity is indeed what they say they are.
With this sense of confirmation, she would have also, but Myshkin's dancing. Also by now.
Didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
You're okay. Went ahead and, for reassurance and to calm the very visually seen tension within the room, grabbed Kallisto's hand nurturingly and just gently holding it, but then looking out to everybody, but notedly nodding toward Farouk. I stand with what Farouk has said. I believe what Farouk is saying. She says, kind of subtly looking up at Kallisto, but not fully. And then addressing toward Arvad. It's not that we wish to distrust immediately upon meeting you. We just don't know you. We've been through a lot in a short amount of time. I hope you can understand. However, I would like to know more from you. I cannot speak for everybody.
What's flipping a coin again, RoBear?
/R space 1DC.
Let's call this for heads. No, Kaivar is going to remain silent, spooked by the fact that this is both something avian and also by the fact that clearly it is a divine being way beyond his capacity. He is going to keep the dream that he had to himself. Sort of gathers behind Loluphia and Kallisto, peering out very nervously, hunched down in a scared form.
Gosh, seeing you play these two dynamics is so beautiful. I love it. All right, I would like to know what it is you want to show us. Arvad, my name is Loluphia, by the way.
Most excellent to make your acquaintance. I can't bring back what no longer exists, my friend. Looking at Myshkin as he says this. But I can make flame dance to tell the story. Would that suffice?
Sure.
Arvad walks out into the center of the ice beyond the valley. You can still see him, but it's a good 50 feet away. He's not quite disappeared into the darkness completely. There is this strange phosphorescent glow almost. And then, not an eruption, but a blossoming of fire occurs at the center. And this cloud of flame reaches up into the sky, forming into figures. And you can start to see what happened. First, a great singularity. Many entities being pulled towards it, and a few small outcroppings holding firm, until eventually the world of Fultura is born. One spark of flame falls towards Fultura, more soot than ember, and where it lands, darkness momentarily spreads across the world. From here, you can see the difference. You can see what Arvad was referring to. The momentary existence of that which came before. The manifestation of spite and a desire for order and control that was Thoth. And then you see flame washing away flame. You see Thoth propelled back into the sarcophagus from which they were born. And you see that flame shatter. From that, Arvad steps back. And almost as though the steps he is stepping upon are invisible, walks down from the sky itself, flame licking his feet as he makes his way back towards you. To come so close to oblivion, and to be given a chance to live anew. That is what this place represents. I am the god of second chances, because I had to make my choice. And because somebody gave me a second chance. And as for the darkness that once compelled and helped to drive me, it still lingers. It is dead, but you can make use of it. It will be of no detriment to you, I think. You are wise enough to know when and where to use that which cuts not only the world of the physical, but also the world of the mind. And Vard reaches down through the ice and pulls another shard of that obsidian. To think, so many things died so that this being could simply peter out and become, well, whatever you would make of it. It is so strange seeing this thing here and now. It is the remnants. It is all that is left of a serpent that would ultimately kill itself. Ouroboros incarnate. It was once called Mitros. And now, you will be able to use what was once the flesh of the abhorrent. If I'm not mistaken, your friend back there in the cavern Still has an entire satchel full of it. This is what I was hoping to show you at first.
So we should expel it, yes. We should not have these items.
Had you discovered Thoth, he would have told you to keep them, knowing that at the time, this being still lived. But now the being is dead. If it makes you uncomfortable, you can remove them. But I assure
I just want you to
you,
be clear.
it
Do
is
we
dead.
keep these items or do we destroy them? Will they
They are
bring harm?
powerful.
No.
Only to your foes. They are powerful enough for you to stretch your will across the physical world. Do not worry. What lay within is quite dead.
What is Farouk's expression right now? Does he seem in agreement, or is he still kind of...
He's holding court. He's quite in the moment, hanging on every word that he can.
And you want this thing that has crashed in the mountains, you want it gone, yes?
Just for
In time.
context, Bife, the crash doesn't matter. You're not a protector of the mountain. Your sole purpose is for those looking for a second chance.
Oh, I know. But I still have an attachment. It's just not very pretty, is it? Can't abide by an eyesore on the place that I got my second chance.
It is a piece of junk.
All right. The blades. Feel free to pick them.
Sorry, could you say that last bit again, Ed? Your mic slightly cut out.
Feel free to pick them up. Your blades.
You see Arvard walk over, picking up those two short blades that he had. You see them begin to glow with warmth. It's not an aggressive fashion. It is like you're seeing a torch in the darkness. If it is of your desire, you may keep this warmth with you.
Myshkin just simply nods, though as Arvard walks out into the wind and weather, Myshkin just bends towards Kallisto's ear. Hopefully Farouk doesn't hear, but Myshkin just whispers, "If he tries to stab us in the back, shoot him."
This doesn't say anything, but you know he heard.
We would be glad of your warmth, Emberwing.
Well, in that case, reach out your hand.
Myshkin does so.
And you can see that as a palm of fire meets another palm of fire, there is that shared warmth and purpose. More importantly, he takes one of those short blades by the blade and hands it in your direction. This is not pointing the blade at you, this is pointing the hilt and offering quite clearly. You can start to see that that blade is no longer corporeal. It is not a physical blade anymore. It's a bright, glowing flame. It's an ember that you see at the heart of a fire. And it's inviting. In fact,
Myshkin,
it's beckoning.
narrowing his eyes and his pupils doing the same. Myshkin just reaches out and clasps a ghostly green hand around the hilt.
Go forth with my blessing. And should you ever need another chance, I shall be there. Who knows? Maybe I've blessed you before. As he looks deep into your eyes with an expression of warmth and an expression of gratitude. And then the flame begins to intensify. And just like watching fire without source and form, Avad vanishes into flame. The only thing you have left is that blade.
As a wispy-like warmth, almost like small fireflies, begins to dance around and fill your space. It is your choice if you accept the blessing of the Phoenix from Emberwing.
Myshkin looks at the blade and, after a moment, looks to one side. Kallisto stands there. A man who Myshkin knows shares his trepidation towards the divine, the hellish, the infernal. And Myshkin turns to his other side, where stands Faroük, a man who has shown him its wonders and its blessings and its boons. Myshkin, unsure, just places the blade within his makeshift robes, brown burlap. Well, Faroük, appears the Phoenix watches over us. If you trust it.
Indeed.
Given us no reason to doubt you.
Day has been a blessing, my friend.
Perhaps this belongs to you.
No. It does not. For I have my own.
As he manifests those two hand axes.
Keep it near.
Shall we get moving then? The morning draws on apace.
May as well, unless anyone else needs more rest.
No. I agree. We should go. And she releases your hand and turns around and is gliding her way to the back of the cave. Kilthud, time to wake up.
Is it time for breakfast? No,
I don't know if we have much time for breakfast.
it's so warm in
Alright,
here.
I do know that there's an apple you can eat.
Apple? Apple? Do you think this body runs on an apple?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away, she says, kind of reaching down and pulling on his arm to lift him up.
Come on, I just got a full night's rest. Can't we get... We were soaking so many things. Really?
She's gonna lean down and we'll just say you missed a lot. She says, kind of looking back at the group who seems very moody in many different
What
ways.
everybody... What, it was
We
as
had a good
comfortable
time.
as can be in here. It's like... God, like I was in my own bunk if this rock wasn't so stiff. Oh, God. Oh.
Kilthud, there was bird. Yes, yes.
There was great bird.
Yes, yes. Great bird. Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
And... All right. What else did I miss? Except for the... What'd you see? Snowhawk. Falcon.
Fire. Yes, yes. Much fire. Yes.
You missed a demigod.
All right. The first joke was no breakfast. I'm not falling for the second one, okay? All right, just give me the apple, whatever.
You've got it. And she's rummaging in his pack because he's got all the food and just tosses him an apple. Think fast.
Oh, God. One of these days, you're gonna throw that thing right at my head.
Just keep your eyes open. You'll never miss.
Well, if I sleep like this on the mountainside every night, who knows?
I'm glad to know you've got the best sleep possible. Honestly, I was getting pretty good rest as well until I'm leaning down to kind of whisper to him so the others don't hear. Until the guys over there were about to get into some tiffy.
Yes, probably because they ain't had no breakfast.
You know, that's probably correct.
Come on, we got time for some bacon at least. We can
Oh,
save
well.
the machaca for
I
later.
think that's a good idea. She says now, just kind of pouring out his pack.
Ah!
Where do you keep everything, huh?
Get out of there! Move! Shoot!
Well, I'm trying to help. Let's help.
No, you're trying to get all the snacks you can get. We
She
got...
pulls out a pan. It almost looks threatening to him, like she's gonna hit him, but she's
Don't you
not.
dare.
Is this the one that you use? Oh, sorry. No, I'm not gonna. I might.
Well, make yourself useful. As he throws you a pack of butter. Grease that one
What do we
down.
have to do with this?
What? We're gonna put the biscuits in there.
All right. She doesn't know what to do with this butter, so she's just kind of like holding it.
Loluphia is untrained in butter.
She does not cook. She's got the best mother-in-laws. So, like,
Yeah.
True, why
I
would
think it
you?
Definitely,
she doesn't need it to cook.
Callisto and his parents definitely do the cooking.
That's why we bring Kilthud along. He's our mom.
And then Kilthud is like, travel mom, yeah.
Elthard is master in butter.
Master of
Yes,
butters.
Butter master.
You can see the utter disillusion in your eyes. Oh God!
That's a disillusion.
Oh my god.
He's here to butter him up.
He hits
You're the
Myshkin
best.
so hard that Ed feels it. With Give me that.
Damage.
as
Oh, okay.
Kelthud will take
She's
the
taking
time to
back
prepare the provisions so that everyone has something in their stomach before we leave. After all, it's just now. Sun's just now coming up.
I told you we had a visitor.
Oh yeah. That's what yeah. Tell me more.
Well, once again, he was an Alekin. It looks like he gave some dagger to Myshkin. Farouk and Kallisto, I woke up to them arguing. Sounded like they were about to have a brawl.
That's oddly specific for bullshit.
Good morning, Kilthat.
Good morning. He's gonna look over to Myshkin, but he doesn't see you've put the dagger away, so he's you tell me the DC or if it's completely sealed away.
I think Myshkin is going to cast a discerning eye over it. He wants to get a sense of what exactly this is. And I think out of all of the group, he would probably do so closest to Kallisto.
Oh, I'm going to give him disadvantage on this roll. What kind of tales is she? Oh, I tell you. Anything anybody wants to do before you guys pack up camp?
Roll this real quick. Nope. Still keeping it to himself.
Yeah, is there anything interesting about this blade, the design of it? Anything I can sense? And also, I guess the reason Myshkin brings it over to Kallisto specifically is from a crafting perspective. Is there anything interesting about it?
But if you can describe what the blade looks like, it does have that shimmer of the fiery-esque glow that goes around it.
Oh, the handle itself, the hilt is bound in what looks as though it would in any other instance be charred, but it's clearly bound in this elegant leather. But the blade itself is where it truly gets ornamental, because whilst it looks as though it is bound around a ember from the center of a fire, you can see that there is a strange marking on the blade itself, very avian in nature, a sigil split down the middle. Half is made of 3 claws, and the other is an outstretched wing unfurled.
Is this one of Xanarin's psionic daggers?
This is not, but it is very similar if you are familiar.
So it happens I'm familiar from 2 years of it.
Yeah, it's a direct copy, but it doesn't have any of the principles.
Okay.
Just like Arvad doesn't have any.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm trying to Ed in DMs asked for an image with other context. I'm trying to get him a good image of what it is, because we do actually have an image of Chorus. And that is, aside from the fact that one is is more of a longsword / rapier and the other is more of a short blade, it is very similar in design. You can see that the hilt is in particular the thing that has remained the same.
And there's like a glowing ember at the center of it.
Yes.
Kallisto. Go ahead.
Imagine a log that's still burning in the center of a fire. You can see that it's red hot, that it's burning from the inside. It's kind of a similar coloration.
Myshkin just looks to you, Kallisto, and I share your distrust. But I have come to appreciate our friend's faith.
Let me take a look at that.
By all means. And Myshkin passes it.
Go ahead and roll. And I don't know if we've ever done this on your side. It's not really necessarily your crafting, but growing up in your household, like you have the eye of basically them. You know what is top quality. So if you want to add whatever you want to add to this crafting check to demonstrate that, to give that value, go for it.
Harvard's plus 50.
I will add. So I have a.
I mean, I could roll if you want. I don't know.
I think. So my crafting is a plus 11, but I think like the parents bonus.
At least master, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know what that would be. Do I don't know. What would I add to make that master? Oh, you just did it? Okay.
I just did it. So yeah, now it's a plus 15.
You
In that case,
rolled it. 33.
33. Good. Dice doing their things that they should do. It is of a quality that you have only seen once before on some work that came in with metamaterials of unknown origin. A project that lasted inside the Ember Forge with the utmost discretion and a long period of time. It's up to you to determine what this item was.
I think this item. I have two items in mind. I want to honestly flip a coin to see which one I go with. Okay. I think this item, and I think the reason why I remember this is because it was very odd to me as a kid. I think I saw my parents doing this. I was probably like 18, 19 years old when I remember this happening. And my parents it was a bullet. It was a single bullet. And it took almost a month to craft this singular bullet. And all I can remember as a kid is seeing my mother toiling over the forge, over the flames, crafting this bullet, constantly pulling apart the gun that their client left behind for it to make sure everything was perfect down to the micrometer. And as a kid, I thought this was strange. It was a bullet. It was barely the length of like the first knuckle of a finger, but my mum was spending more than a month on this. So that kind of drilled itself, that memory into my head as I looked down at this blade. And I think the initial trepidation you saw for a moment is replaced with confusion and awe. Myshkin is very clear on his face because all Kallisto can think of is it took my mum a month to craft a bullet. How long did it take whoever crafted this?
Familiar to you?
Sort of, a little bit. I've never seen this blade itself before, but the method they must have used to create this, I've seen before. A long time ago, almost half a century ago at this point. But I remember my mother's. They had to lock me out of the forge side for a bit because My mum was working on a project. A client left a bullet and wanted it crafted, mended, and forged into a similar style like this.
Or perhaps once we are back to your home, might be able to offer some expertise on who might have done this. Beautiful.
Kallisto just hands the blade back.
I do not know if I shall be keeping this, but I will hold on to it for safekeeping for now.
You'll want to keep that out of sight, especially when we get back to Stormforge.
Luckily, I am well practiced in laying.
Let me see if Kelthad needs any help.
Of course. Myshkin just waits at the cave's entrance for everyone.
No, just put the biscuits on the plate. They're done.
Fine.
They don't need to be set out all pretty. I don't know why you're trying to do that. None of these people care. They're just hungry.
Oh, that's downright insulting.
It's not.
Yes.
We're trying to be in a rush. We're not at home.
We are.
You just you
the
see
old-
Kaivar next to Loluphia just being like,
Home is where the.
Go on, finish it.
No, I'm not.
Do it.
Nope.
You wanted to say something, say it. With your whole chest.
He rearranges the biscuits just the way he wants them.
Feel the-
Hush!
She takes one. Look, I made it out of order now. And she bites it. Breakfast, everybody.
That's a win for me.
I love so much that we're back to the dynamic of you playing the dwarf. It's just the perpetual thorn in Sam's side.
Literally just it's a Sam and RoBear iconic duo.
Yeah.
It always
That's
defaults
great.
back.
You know, Xanrin came back. It's time for Brom and Biddy, okay?
Reincarnated across generations, there will always be a shit poster, and there will always be a shit
From world to
postie.
world.
We're the only ones alive with a squirrel.
That's right. Well, we have a dog.
That's the
It's
country.
fine.
As everyone is able to get hearty breakfast in and enjoy the creature comforts of the cavern, if you've accepted the blessing of the Phoenix, now's the time to let me know.
That we each have to accept, right? This is a thing on an individual level.
No, it's individual level.
Thought so.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what
This,
does it entail again then? I didn't even think about that.
We're about to find out.
You're gonna find out. It depends on whether you accepted it or not.
Kallisto does not accept.
I'm so glad that you actually play your character, though, because this would be so easy to be like, yeah, sure, I'll accept the thing from a god. Nah, this is 100% Callisto.
There's a lot of
While
work
getting
there to
her-
be done before that happens.
Yeah.
While getting her 30 check and knowing that he's telling the truth, she would accept. And only because of that.
Myshkin, blade in hand, considers it for a moment and then just nods almost to himself, as if answering a question.
Kaivar.
I think Kaivar feels an unsettling warmth within him. Unsettling because, again, he is just getting used to the idea of comfort, let alone family, home, everything that Kelthut will talk about whenever he's arguing with Loluphia, the things that Farouk will talk about when he talks about the comforts of anything to do with food and friendship. Yeah, this is this is going to be a coin toss as well, because whilst Kaivar is very much opening up to these things, there are still greater influences that clearly have a hold over him. If there's anything that would be said that would nudge it in one direction or the other, I think that's probably what's been overheard, and the competing influences of Farouk and of Kallisto have very much kept it even. So here's the coin flip. Heads, it's something I accept. Tails, it's something I don't. And that's not how you flip a coin. /R1DC?
Yeah. Slash comes first.
There we go. Heads, I accept.
So, everyone except for Kallisto will receive the blessing of the Phoenix, which will be resistance 10 to cold damage. If you already have said resistance like Kaivar in your seasons, you have advantage on saving throws that involve cold damage.
He accidentally gave it to me as well.
Just really wants you to accept.
Oops. Wrong character sheet. This camp is all packed up. You can feel that warmth from inside the cavern stay with you. As the cold outside in the cavern doesn't seem to affect you at all. With a good old-fashioned weather check, not the greatest day on the planet, but not nearly the worst. The wind is brisk. But everyone else, except for Kallisto, does not feel the winds of winter. Kelthud and Myshkin, will you go ahead and make a survival check?
Oh, there you go.
Let's
Twenties
go.
and ones, man. 20s and
No
ones.
leopard.
Oh. God. You gotta love it. This
Myshkin
natural...
just clasps the blade of this new and very odd blade and steps forth.
You will be able to circumvent that next and final check, as this will push you all the way up to the crash site. Making your way through the desolation, things begin to finally open up. You can see in the distance where this machine has landed, crashed, skidded, and burned into the ground, this massive cavern that drops down.
Does anything look I guess most importantly is though it is moving.
Can't even see a large structure anymore. There is only the remnants that lead before this severely hot flame had sunken down into the glacier.
Well, here we are, I suppose. What do we think?
Is there anything left?
Oh, there are parts all over the place leading up to the massive point that it has burned into the glacier. Extreme heat. Dragons worthy heat. You don't know. Maybe it was a combination of the arcane magic that got it here, or what was contained in the site.
Oh, is it still hot? Or is it like we can tell that it was when it landed?
It was hot. It is no longer.
Okay. Oh my God.
I was just trying to see what kind of magic it is. I can't tell anything.
Them
I
biscuits!
took the 20s with the 220s. Someone had to get
Who have you hurt? Have you like? Is there someone who like that's against you?
Going against him. I'm so sorry. I'll never have an opinion again.
We will. That's very much not. Kallisto loves the fact that Loluphia has opinions.
No, this is Sam joking. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I know. But truly, Kallisto's like a wife guy. So I just find it very. That's why I found it extra funny.
A wife guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no way Sam doesn't. Well, Sam and Loluphia don't have opinions on things. Like, good lord.
What? In this day and age, I have a lot of them.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I'm
we
saying.
should just start looking, see if we can find any remnants of anything that could clue us into what exactly was going on in this quote-unquote recycling plant, and anything that will point us in the direction of the silent gear.
Yeah, I agree. I just can't tell what kind of magic this is.
Let's make sure we do a solid
Myshkin-
sweep before we end up descending down into that hole.
Sounds good.
I think Myshkin is also going to look for any remnants of the creature that we fought just before the structure went down. Any of the metal that now infects his arms and appears to coat Kallisto's as well.
Go ahead and roll perception check. The metamaterials that you're looking for that invoked this kind of transformation doesn't seem to be topside. Lots of the construction materials, you feel like loose brick and mortar seems to be the predominant of what is scattered about. Every now and then there are pits of odd pieces of metal, but they look like more functional, possibly part of the machinery. Certainly not made of the extravagant nanomaterials that are required for these things to bind with the flesh.
Okay. In that case, Myshkin is going to just wait for the others, but is still going to gravitate towards the large hole into which this crater that the machine and the structure seems to be within.
Kallisto would also be looking around for any signs, anything that will clue him in on, if anything, just the proof that we went through what we went through on that recycling plant. So shards of the creatures we fought, any shrapnel from the constructs. I think as well, yes, same, looking for anything that looks like metal that can only have been created through magic, really, or hard to replicate means.
Go ahead and use your family crafting check again on that.
$28.
28. It takes a bit of uncovering with your boot, shaking off a bit of the snow cover and fresh powder. But you see one of those small machines. Small tendrils, frozen. Direction, seemingly away from the crash's final destination.
I'll call over. I think I'll make it very clear that I found something, but I think I'll very specifically call over Myshkin and Loluphia when I find this. I won't pick it up. I won't even touch it with my bare hands. I'll brush it like the snow off with my boots and crouch down and look at it, then call for Myshkin and Loluphia.
Lolly would be pretty close by and immediately come over and look at what you're looking at. What is it?
I think the only real piece of evidence I can find so far that we fought something up there and it's not natural, and it seems, and RoBear, you said it was, the direction was like further away from the crater, or like it was moving away from the crater?
Yeah, it was moving away from the crater.
And it looks like it was moving not too long ago away from the crater.
So kind of to say this shouldn't be our final stop.
No. But also to say that we should keep an eye out. There might be bigger pieces that could survive and keep moving and jump us if we're not prepared.
Well, at least this time, we do not enter this thing separately. We are together.
Yes.
So, who leads the way?
Continue, keep your eyes peeled. And by God, let's make sure to carve that thing out of the ice. Keep it frozen. It'll be the first that we have of the kind that you talked about.
We can make a path, nevertheless. And Myshkin will head over to the wreckage and try and find a way down.
As you guys approach the crater, Kallisto, you need to make a fortitude saving throw as the cold becomes unbearable.
Oof. Oof. A 20.
We have luckies if you want them.
You know what? Yeah, I'll use a luck. That's a good point. Nearly the end of session. That's what you said. Or 42.
Oh,
32.
I was so scared when I said it that it was going to roll in a 1. I'm so glad it didn't.
Always the fear.
Go ahead and role play being able to use that your own internal heat from within your arm to stave off this brittle cold.
I think Loluphia would have noticed this as well, but I think it would have been very welcome considering the cold. But ever since the interaction with Emberwing, Kallisto's left arm has been warmer. Again, not scorching hot, but definitely warmer than it should be, than it usually is. And yeah, I don't think he notices it. I don't think he notices it at all. But between the cracks in his now almost like obsidian black arm, there are occasional puffs of hot steam, and I think that's what keeps him warm. Rather, every so often, whenever he notices how cold he's becoming, I think mostly on his right side, he will let out some of that steam, some of that heat that's been captured and growing in his arm to warm himself up. And it's becoming easier and easier to control how and where that heat is being released from. And yes, every so often. So you don't even see him like raise his hands to his mouth to breathe into it. He just clasps his hands together and you see the steam erupt from his palm to warm his hands up. Or if his face ever gets too cold, he would raise his left hand up to his face and again let out a controlled puff of steam to warm himself up. And yeah, just routinely doing that to keep his temperature at enough to keep functioning.
At the precipice of the crater, Myshkin, Ollie, Farouk, I want you guys to roll Arcana checks with advantage. $33, $36.
2 19s in there. Woo.
Standing over the crash site, looking down into this tunnel that's 50 or 60 feet deep. There's this updraft coming out of it. It's not warm, it's not cold. It's a swell of arcane energy. As this arcane energy passes up between your fingertips, you all look as the sky begins to light up with northern lights. It's taken you just to get into the proximity for this to emerge. And it's not like your typical northern lights as it's swirling in a wild pattern. As it begins to coalesce into an image. That image slowly becoming clearer and clearer. As you see its head emerge, mouth open, those lights forming in to a massive arcane dragon that begins to descend down from this energy funnel. Kaivar, in between the rib cage, you can see the hands of those mages' souls trapped within the rib cage of whatever that level of magic has awoken deep within the glacier. As this thing pours out from the sky and begin flying towards the plains and you, that is where we will pick up next Wednesday.
Good time to be match cool.
Kaivar throws up.
But just one of those small, just like.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Baby Yoda after doing a bunch of spins. Just that.
Glorious job, everyone. Oh. Well done.
He gives me no warning about any of this, and just is like, "Yeah, you got this." And I'm like, "Oh man, I guess I do have to. I do have to get this." Yeesh.
I knew you would carry. You did fantastic playing your first demigod.
I am very much. There is a part of me that's like, damn, what if I'd said no, and kind of wishes that. Oh man, I'm so interested to know what the alternative of that would have been. Because, oh my god, I had no clue what to do with this. I was ready for a few outcomes, but I was most prepared for this to just be, yes, I'm going to play evil for the first time.
Since
It was so good.
Since you've chosen, I guess it's you've earned a right to know the opposite. If you had not accepted Drak's second chance, you would have got to die a brilliant villain's death over about a 15-minute period where Drak destroys every essence of your being.
Can we rewind? I like that.
It was your choice.
It was
and then you have the
brilliant,
scarier question of who the hell is that owl then? Because if every essence of my being is destroyed, who is the imposter? Who?
Don't you dare who.
Indeed.
I wanted the threat of the symbiote to be on the planet, but not ever like totally get raffle stomped.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be, here's this big guy on the other side of the wormhole that's been here. And I toyed with it several times. I'm like, it is going to get exploded and turned into a material immediately. I was like, okay, but where is this going to happen? I'm like, you know what? This mountainside looks like a good place for this obsidian to be. And then we just kind of played it out. I didn't know whether this dragon got him or we had some other case. And I'm like, you know what? It's a good time to establish another piece of the Pantheon.
Oh,
Well.
so you were playing with our emotions.
Never.
You son of
Just
a...
like a DM.
Hey, I just
You
couldn't let the
son.
symbiote have that kind of power here. It had to get...
Thank God. Literally, as soon as I saw that, I was like, we're gonna die, y'all. You don't understand. This is horrible.
We would have
And even Eric, because Eric watches this later and talks to me. He's just like, oh no. It's like, yeah, I know. I know.
So the thing I sent Sam last week, where it literally forced you to be like, "No, don't say that," and get out of your
thought
chair.
that this obsidian was Mitros.
Well, yeah, because it's like, oh, this obsidian's kind of like, it's almost as though it's been regrowing, and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no. I know what's a material that is very much grows and also can cover this whole thing, and also, yeah, Fultura kind of is somewhat very much associated with this thing. Oh no, oh, this
His
is
top
bad.
little friend.
Fitting that they should be a nice little deposit on the side of a mountainside.
Yay.
What could go
It was good
wrong?
though. Also, I was so glad I rolled that nat 1 during everything earlier. Woo! It was nice not to have to be a part of that.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, was it beautiful watching the DM. Make sure to push this Ember Wing on everyone.
Can I just say, by the way,
I didn't push him on anybody.
Fucking
The
Drak,
perfect
I
guilt trip from Farouk. I was like, oh, love it.
Quit
seriously,
disrespecting
Drak,
me.
You fucking carried this episode, man. You absolutely carried.
What are you talking about?
You all did so good.
It was fun. Yeah,
You
Kallisto
got
has
given
feelings.
a real test, man. Like you literally had the moment of like saying "fuck you" to a god, and you did it, and it was great.
And you get to
It's
argue
amazing.
with the DM. That's why I always argue with this character, because it's my favorite. Watch him squirm.
He's had enough, and he can't take it anymore.
I just got to sleep, de-escalate, and make biscuits.
Yes, de-escalate into biscuits.
Sleep, de-escalate,
I'm
and
literally a
make
cat.
biscuits.
I made biscuits.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
It's okay. I'm here to help you need.
Myshkin, the ultimate chameleon, who has helped him the last Tuesday. It's who Myshkin loves the best, and I love it. His alliance is week to week, and I love it. I love it so much.
Farouk has been like kneading away at that. Because, yeah, Myshkin definitely distrusts not faith. I think he believes faith is a beautiful thing, but religion and the gods who would use their followers, that is definitely something he shares with Kallisto for like a number of reasons.
As you should. That's
but
this kind of world that we're in.
But like Farouk has shown him that there is more to it than that. And so, and like, you know, ages back when Farouk saved his life, like Myshkin has seen the warmth from both his ancestors, and I guess as a result, like, sees this as like a conduit to that thing, that piece. And there is, you know, he's skeptical, but he's not completely skeptical, thanks to Farouk.
I love that you have the blade. It's perfect. It is perfect that you have the blade. I love
Blade
that.
of second chances for you in particular, Ed, and for Myshkin's character is so fitting.
Oh, it is
So is that what it's
tantalizing.
literally called? The Blade of Second Chances?
You can ask about its name at a certain point, but no, it's not the Blade of Second Chances. It is probably what you could describe as a Blade of Second Chances, but no, well, you maybe
It's the
figure
Blade
out the
of
name in
Seconds.
time.
You get food.
Blade of seconds. It's
I've
called a blade of.
I-
Can I have some more, sir?
I may or may not have DM'd RoBear about a potential name for this thing, considering that we literally made it on the fly. So, yeah.
I mean,
anyway.
I've written down the Blade of Second Chances in my notes for now, which I like a lot. So.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. No, Kallisto is just. I think the reason why, because like there's been like Kallisto's seen just as much proof to trust the gods as Myshkin has, but I think his disdain for it comes from a almost subconscious thing. Like he does. I don't think he even has like. You can't. If you ask him, hey, what has a god done to you that you don't like? He won't be able to name anything. I truly think he just had like a like, for lack of a better term, a godless life, but he has like an actual physical aversion to them down to like a subconscious level. So he doesn't like, you can try and reason with him as much as you want, and it will be very difficult to sway it because it's just so deeply woven into who he is as a person.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that Kallisto's a man that likes to carry debts. And
yeah.
at the core of those relationships, a lot of times there seems to be a lot more giving than getting.
Yeah.
And a feeling of indebtedness that you can only survive by the graces of this divination would, 100% probably be like, no, I'm good. My family does just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
The juxtaposition of somebody that has never lived without it, that has that faith that whether it's the Phoenix, Cyrus, or the sun, is always going to shine and break up a storm or be behind them in their time of need, sees it just as foreign as kicking out company.
Not you saying Osiris to the Destiny guy. As soon as I heard it, I was like, we're going to the lighthouse.
He's invoked
Listen,
he's invoked
the name
Osiris
Thoth
before.
The name Thoth also
No,
is directly stolen from Egyptian pantheon. I make no claim of being original when it comes to that.
I'm making no claim to that either. I just thought it was
Alvard was Alvard is not my choice though. Alvard is entirely RoBear.
That is the Wanderer.
Mm.
Yeah, it's Hebrew for
so
the
we
Wanderer.
leveled up, right? We witnessed a deity in person, so we should level up, I think.
Yeah, can we become level 25 fire druids?
Everyone gets to level up that took the blessing. No.
Damn.
I am into younger men. Just ask my husband.
Man, you guys, if you survive next week, man, that would be a great time to level up.
Whoa. What is an if?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
Can I have some plot armor? Because then after next week, it's my birthday, and I don't want to die before my birthday.
You rearrange my biscuits, so this is your cause.
Whoa. I ate one very happily. I was just trying
Sam
to
gets
everybody.
a new character for her birthday.
No,
Dude, don't even say that. That means like the party's gonna break. Do you think there's any kind of you could reconcile Kallisto at that point?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
way.
I want Kallisto's Punisher arc. Just like,
We gotta get 25 more episodes in.
I've got to see that. Oh my goodness.
He's almost already there. Don't push him over the edge.
Yeah. Oh man, now that makes me wonder if one of us lost the other, who would be worse off? I think Kallisto would be worse off.
Kallisto way worse off.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Like Lolly would, of course,
yeah.
it would take a minute, but like she's so mentally strong that she'd be like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
He was for a moment, and it sucks. It's time to move on.
It depends on how it happens, but either Kallisto will just like fully shut down, or go in like a Punisher arc. I think it would depend on who.
Shut down for a little bit.
I guess it would depend on who killed Loluphia. Like if it's like an organization, like he'll hunt down every member of that organization.
What if it's
man.
If that scenario happened, I would probably have you both re-roll something into the party, and then Punisher Kallisto would be your own like rabid NPC in the world. Just absolutely wreaking havoc on whoever is in his way of his mission. Like total, I could see Warden badge turned in, everything just off the grid.
he
Also,
would
somebody
be
talking about that
the
new
warden.
He would be the one. You can't take away my
I
rage.
actually like that. I actually like that.
Okay, I'm done. We're not engaging this fantasy. Not yet.
Wait, can we talk about Illirin? Who's that?
Yeah, how the hell do you come up with that name on the spot? That's what I was going to ask.
That is just someone that Myshkin encountered in his travels, who is a tabaxi, and so occasionally occasionally. No, there is more. There is more to it than that, but yeah, whenever Myshkin has to introduce himself to someone he doesn't trust, he always uses the name of another tabaxi, just in case.
Just somebody else that Myshkin used to know.
Right off the bat? Oh my gosh. Wow.
For all we know, Myshkin might not be his name, though. We don't know that for sure.
Myshkin ends up being the one who stabbed you, Kallisto, in the night. Just when you become friends.
Always me.
That's why everything happens when we're alone with Myshkin. He's trying to kill us off.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's Myshkin all along. You kick out the demigod. Love
I
it.
have his sword.
I'm so glad we got to play.
That was
Yeah,
good, yeah.
thanks for sitting tight, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll be very much on time next week because next week I have work, so I'll be on the clock anyway.
We'll see, my little sheep. We will see. Excited. We'll be back next week. You also get to see me and Sam even more 3 times next week. So hop on the pain train. We haven't got to make our characters yet. I'm excited. That's this weekend's homework.
I'm ill. Here he comes.
I'm going to be Punisher Kallisto. That's what I'm going to be.
Oh my god, let's do it.
That'd be very funny.
Warn enemies.
No, I could never steal that thunder or put my foot in those shoes. I have to watch that. Front row seat.
Wait, no, that's not going to happen.
Yes, never to happen.
I have to die, RoBear.
Oh,
You've come pretty close.
RoBear, this is a real weird way. I didn't know you were going to do this live. I didn't know you were going to tell Sam that you're firing her live, but I guess we're
Firing.
doing this
You have to pay me first.
Cut.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Love you guys. For all those that are celebrating, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. For those who are not, we still love you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm also waving, but you can't see me.
This is me waving for you.